But let's get into it. Matthew chapter 15, beginning in verse 21. And it says, Then Jesus left Galilee and went north to the region of Tyre and Sidon. A Gentile woman who lived there came to him, pleading, Have mercy on me, O Lord, Son of David, for my daughter is possessed by a demon that torments her severely. But Jesus gave her no reply, not even a word. Then his disciples urged him to send her away. Tell her to go away, they said. She is bothering us with all her begging. Then Jesus said to the woman, I was sent only to help God's lost sheep, the people of Israel. But she came and worshipped him, pleading again, Lord, help me. Jesus responded, It isn't right to take food away from the children and throw it to the dogs. Most of us would have stopped right then and there and quit. Verse 27, she replied, That's true, Lord. But even dogs are allowed to eat the scraps that fall beneath their master's table. Dear woman, Jesus said to her, Your faith is great. Your request is granted. And her daughter was instantly healed. Now let's go ahead and back up and dive into this thing, okay? How does this apply to me and you? All right. Then Jesus left Galilee and went north to the region of Tyre and Sidon. A Gentile woman who lived there came to him, pleading, Have mercy on me, O Lord, Son of David, for my daughter is possessed by a demon that torments her severely. For those of you who are not familiar with it, with the Bible, with the story, I'm not but Jesus came specifically for the people of Israel, the Israelites. And due to the fact that the Israelites rejected him, at the end, the salvation that Jesus provided was extended to you and me. Okay? The Gentiles. So that invitation was not extended yet at this moment. He was still pleading with the Israelites. The Israelites had still, they hadn't fully rejected him, crucified him. So the invitation was not for the Gentiles yet. But here is this woman, okay? A Gentile woman who acknowledges him for who he is. She came with the proper approach. Okay? She's going through a hard time. She's going through something, dealing with something that is it's difficult. You know what I mean? She's got a kid. She's got a daughter who is, what does it say? Demon possessed, okay? It's possessed by a demon that torments her severely. You imagine? Some of y'all, I'm sure you guys have kids that maybe they got some type of severe illness, okay? They got some type of disability, something. I'm sure it would get tiring. I've dealt with my kids, they get their, they catch a cold or any little thing like that. And sometimes, it can be difficult. But I want you to understand this one thing right here, okay? Look at the way that she approaches her approach. She addresses Jesus, Have mercy on me, O Lord, Son of David, the approach. For my daughter is possessed by a demon that torments her severely. But Jesus gave her no reply. She didn't quit. She kept going. Okay? Jesus gave her no reply, not even a word. Then his disciples urged him to send her away. These dudes were jacked up. Tell her to go away, they said. She's bothering us with all her begging. Those of you who have been watching the videos, you know what I mean, the lives, remember what happened with the blind Bartimaeus? That he was calling out to Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me. And everybody kept telling him to shut up. Everybody kept telling him to be quiet. This woman right here did not allow it to bother her. This woman did not allow it. This is, you know what I mean? Like, this is Jesus's disciples, his followers. You would think by now these dudes would have got the point. You think by now these dudes would have understood what it is that Jesus came to do. You would have thought by now that the disciples would have understood the mission. But these jokers were too concerned about themselves that they didn't even have no compassion for this woman and what she was going through. Tell her to go away. She's bothering us with all her begging. Don't let it be said of us that this is the same manner in which we treat people. And if that's the way that we're treating people, then we've got to do better. We got to understand our Father's heart. We got to understand do. Like, are you kidding me? Tell her to go away, they said. She is bothering us with all her begging. Exactly, because you're not going through what she's going through. You're not dealing with what she's dealing with. So of course it's going to bother you. It doesn't even burden you. You have no compassion for this woman. You get a lot of us in the church, a lot of us who become religious, a lot of us who just, you know what I mean? And we got no compassion for people that come in really seeking a miracle, really seeking God, and they bug us because they're begging God for a miracle. Man, listen. Then Jesus said to the woman, okay? Jesus looks over at the woman and he says, I was sent only to help God's lost sheep, the people of Israel. Listen to her response though, okay? But she came and worshiped him. How many of you, the approach, again, how many of you, when you're going through what you're going through, she came because she's broken. She loves her daughter. She didn't come frustrated and saying, Lord, I need you to heal this kid because I'm sick and tired of dealing with what I'm dealing with. I'm sick and tired of going through what I'm going through. No. She came begging for mercy. Please have mercy. Heal my daughter. Jesus says, I can't help you right now. I didn't come to help you right now. I came for the people of Israel. And her approach again. But she came and worshiped him. How many of you, instead of approaching God with an attitude of frustration, you approach him with worship? That just convicted me majorly. Because I know a lot of times my prayers are fueled by frustration instead of fueled by compassion. Instead of being fueled by faith, they're fueled by frustration. And if there's one thing that we need to understand is that Jesus is not moved by our frustration. He is moved by our faith. How many times have we heard already? Your faith has made you well. It is because of people's faith, not because of our frustration. A lot of us, man, dude. Then Jesus said to the woman, I was sent only to help God's lost sheep, the people of Israel. But she came and worshiped him, pleading again, Lord, help me. Jesus responded, it isn't right to take food from the children and throw it to the dogs. Again, a lot of us would be frustrated because Jesus is not responding to us in the manner in which we want him to respond to us. First, he doesn't even say nothing. Secondly, look how he responded. But she doesn't quit. She keeps going. That's true, Lord. I am unworthy of you. That's true, Lord. I don't deserve anything from you. But even the dogs are allowed to eat scraps that fall beneath their master's table. The approach. So many of us walk around frustrated. And I get it. I understand it. Life can be hard. But a lot of us walk around feeling self-righteous, like God owes us something. We got to be careful. Again, please pay attention to her approach. Dear woman, Jesus said to her, your faith is great. Your faith is amazing. I need you to understand something. God is moved by our faith, not by our frustration. He is not moved by your title. He is not moved. He doesn't care by how much money's in your bank account. He is not moved. He don't care what part of town you live in. God is no respecter of men. You can't buy him. You can't manipulate him. You can't do nothing. He is not moved by anything. He is moved by our faith. If you have been following along and you have been watching these videos, how many times have people come to Jesus and Jesus is amazed? Jesus marvels at people's faith and he says, your faith has made you well. It is because of your faith that I'm going to answer your prayer. What did he just say right here? Your request is granted. Why do we get frustrated? Because we're mad that things are going our way. That's the reason why we get frustrated. Because God is not answering our prayers our way, in our timing, in the manner in which we want it. That's the reason why we get frustrated. That's the reason why we walk around so upset, because things are going our way. Man, you know. Again, the approach. Pay attention to the approach. She acknowledged him for who he was. She was persistent and she didn't allow anything to discourage her. And 3, again, the approach. She worshiped him. When we approach Jesus, how do we approach him? We don't even acknowledge him for who he is because we're so self-centered and so focused on us and so frustrated about us. And how do we come to him? You need to do something about this. Like we tell him what to do. Again, the importance of what Jesus said. If you want to be my follower, if you want to be my disciple, you have got to deny yourself. You know how much frustration you go through? How much frustration we go through because we don't learn to deny ourselves? That is the reason as to why we walk around so frustrated and we're so ungrateful and we're always upset and mad, because we're so upset because things didn't go our way. Like we run the show, like we're in control. Jesus says, if you're going to follow me, you got to do it my way. It's not about you. You're doing it my way. You're not in control anymore. You got to do it the way I tell you to do it. I'm going to prove to you that I'm in control. I'm going to prove to you that I have all authority over everything that is frustrating you, over everything that you're afraid of, over everything that you're worried about. I have authority and control over all of that. I just need you to, I'm going to prove to you who I am, and I need you to acknowledge me for who I am. And we say, no, that's okay. I'd rather do it my way, and walk around frustrated. Do you understand the importance? I'm learning this, and it's becoming very clear as to why I have to learn to deny myself, because myself, I'm selfish. Deny yourself, pick up your cross, and follow me. The approach and the manner in which this woman came, not even the people of Israel, most of the people of Israel did not approach him and acknowledge him in the manner in which this woman did. A lot of us, we pray and we'll pray what? 1 time? 2 times? And if God doesn't answer it, like this, we quit praying, and then we just walk around frustrated. And then we'll hit him up, 6 months later. I thought I asked you to do this. God is not moved by your frustration. He is moved by your faith. We got to understand that. This is hitting me hard. I don't know about you, but this is really, it's cutting me. And she replied, "That's true, Lord. But even the dogs are allowed to eat the scraps that fall beneath their master's table." Dear woman, Jesus said to her, your faith is great. Your request is granted. And her daughter was instantly healed. Her prayer was instantly answered because of her faith, because of her approach. Man, I hope that this hit you in the same manner in which it hit me. Because that right there is that. God is not moved by our frustration. He's moved by our faith. Faith is what answers prayers, not frustration. Man, I love you guys. I pray that this encouraged you. I pray that this made you uncomfortable and pushes you to grow. God bless you guys.